Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something real about men and how they move when they are truly connected to a woman who understands their soul. See, men are naturally wired to be providers, protectors, and builders, but that fire inside them only burns at its brightest when they feel like the person they love sees them, values them, and respects them. A man can have strength, resources, and ambition, but without that feeling of being honored by the one he loves, he will never fully give his all. Respect is the fuel that makes him willing to risk everything. Respect is one of the most powerful forces that can move a man to action. When a man feels respected, it changes the way he sees himself, the way he carries himself, and the way he approaches every challenge in life. Respect is more than polite words or gestures. It is an acknowledgement of his worth, his strength, and his role. It tells him that he is seen not just for what he does, but for who he is. This is why respect is such a strong motivator for men. It is the spark that ignites courage, the foundation that builds confidence, and the energy that drives sacrifice. A man may have ambition, resources, and plans, but if he lacks respect, he will often feel empty inside. On the other hand, when respect is given sincerely, it pushes him to go further, to strive harder, and to reach higher. Respect is not about agreement all the time or about silence. It is about trust. It is about showing him that his voice matters, that his decisions are valued, and that his presence brings significance. For a man, this recognition creates an inner drive that no obstacle can fully extinguish. When a man is respected, he becomes more willing to step into uncertainty. He will take risk, not because he is reckless, but because he knows someone believes in his ability to lead, to provide, or to protect. Respect gives him the courage to put himself in situations where he may lose, but he takes those chances because he wants to honor the faith placed in him. That's why men often go beyond their limits when they feel respected. It is not about pride alone. It is about living up to the expectations that respect naturally sets on their shoulders. Respect also fuels resilience. Life will bring failures, setbacks, and struggles, but a man who feels respected will rise again because he does not want to let down the trust he has earned. Respect strengthens his character because it shows him that even when he falls short, his worth is not diminished. Instead, it tells him that he still carries value, and that motivates him to keep pushing forward. It is in those moments of trial that respect becomes the most powerful. It gives him the reason to keep trying when everything around him suggests quitting. Respect is expressed not only in words, but also in actions. Listening to him when he speaks, acknowledging his efforts, and appreciating his sacrifices are simple ways to communicate respect. These gestures might seem small, but they create a profound impact on the way he views himself and the relationship he shares. They remind him that his efforts are not taken for granted and that his presence makes a difference. At the core, respect is the deepest affirmation a man can receive. It is the unspoken message that says, I trust you, I value you, and I believe in you. That message is powerful enough to inspire him to risk everything, to face challenges without hesitation, and to give the best of himself. Respect awakens the hero inside a man, and once that part of him is alive, there is nothing he will not do for the one who gives it. Respect is the deepest form of recognition a man can receive because it reaches into the core of who he is. When a man feels respected, he sees himself as capable, valuable, and trusted. Respect is not simply about praising his actions, but about affirming his identity and the role he plays. It sends the message that he is dependable, that his efforts matter, and that his voice carries weight. A man who feels respected carries himself differently, with a stronger sense of purpose and determination. He becomes motivated not just to exist, but to thrive and to rise to every challenge before him. Respect fuels the courage to step into the unknown, to fight through obstacles, and to stand tall in the face of adversity. It is the invisible force that makes him want to take risks, not because the risks are easy, but because he wants to honor the trust and recognition he has been given. When respect is missing, even the strongest man can feel uncertain and diminished. But when respect is present, even the weakest situation cannot hold him back. Encouragement builds upon that foundation of respect and provides the energy that drives a man forward. Every man, no matter how confident he may appear, carries doubts within him. He questions his abilities, second-guesses his choices, and wonders whether he has what it takes to succeed. Encouragement has the power to silence those doubts. A single word of belief, a simple reminder that he is capable, can completely shift his perspective. Encouragement is like oxygen to his spirit. It revives his strength and renews his courage. It tells him that even if he fails, he is not alone, and that belief in him is unshaken. When he receives encouragement, he begins to see new possibilities where he once saw only obstacles. Respect and encouragement work together as a powerful pair. Respect provides the foundation that assures a man of his worth, while encouragement gives him the push to step forward with boldness. Together, they can make a man risk everything. He will be willing to sacrifice time, energy, and even his own comfort because he feels empowered to do so. He knows that he is respected for who he is and encouraged for what he can become, and this combination makes him unstoppable. The man who feels both respected and encouraged does not shrink back in the face of difficulties. Instead, he embraces challenges as opportunities to prove himself worthy of the faith placed in him. The world can be a hard place filled with constant reminders of what a man lacks or where he falls short, but respect lifts him up and encouragement pushes him forward. These two forces transform his mindset from hesitation to determination. They awaken a deeper strength within him, one that allows him to risk his comfort, his safety, and even his pride because he knows that he is not moving for nothing. He is moving with purpose, driven by the respect he has earned and the encouragement he has received. And that is why respect and encouragement together make a man risk everything for the one who gives them. Respect is one of the most powerful motivators for a man because it speaks directly to his identity. It is not about flattery or empty praise, but about a deep acknowledgement of who he is and what he brings. When a man feels respected, it confirms that his role, his efforts, and his presence have real value. It tells him that his sacrifices are noticed and his decisions are trusted. This is the kind of recognition that gives him strength even in the toughest situations. Respect builds his confidence, fuels his determination, and makes him more willing to go beyond his comfort zone. It awakens a courage that pushes him to step into places where failure is possible, because the trust placed in him becomes more important than the fear of losing. Without respect, even the strongest man feels empty, but with it, he feels like he can conquer anything. Encouragement builds on that foundation and turns belief into action. Even the most capable man has moments of self-doubt, moments when he questions if he is enough, if his dreams are achievable, or if his efforts matter. Encouragement has the power to silence those doubts. A simple word of support, a reminder that his abilities are seen and believed in, can transform hesitation into bold movement. Encouragement breathes life into his ambitions. It reminds him that he is not alone in his struggles and that someone believes in his potential. Encouragement doesn't just inspire action, it sustains it. When challenges get heavy, encouragement keeps him steady. It is the constant push that allows him to risk more, to try harder, and to keep going even when the world is against him. Encouragement lifts him from fear into faith, and it is in that place that a man finds the strength to do what he never thought possible. Alongside respect and encouragement, loyalty is the force that binds everything together. Loyalty shows a man that he is not standing alone, that no matter how difficult the road becomes, someone is there through every twist and turn. Loyalty is more than staying in good times. It is being present in the hard times. It is the quiet reassurance that even when he stumbles, he will not be abandoned. Loyalty gives him the courage to fight battles he might otherwise avoid because he knows the support behind him is unshakable. A man who experiences true loyalty becomes fearless in his devotion and bold in his actions. He will risk everything to protect, to provide, and to uphold the bond of trust that loyalty creates. When respect shows him his value, encouragement pushes him toward his potential, and loyalty assures him that he is not alone, a man becomes willing to risk everything. These three forces together awaken a drive within him that no obstacle can destroy. They transform doubt into confidence, fear into courage, and hesitation into action. Respect feeds his spirit. Encouragement fuels his journey, and loyalty anchors his heart. With these three, a man is moved to give his all, to rise above challenges, and to take risks he would never consider without them. Respect has always been one of the deepest needs of a man because it validates who he is at the core. It is not about superficial gestures, but about recognizing his worth, his role, and the efforts he makes. When he feels respected, he gains the courage to push himself further than he thought possible. Respect reassures him that his presence makes a difference, that his contributions matter, and that his decisions hold value. Without respect, even a strong man feels uncertain, but with respect, even the weakest situation cannot hold him back. Respect strengthens his spirit, sharpens his focus, and gives him the confidence to step into challenges he might otherwise avoid. It is respect that inspires him to take risks, not for pride alone, but because he wants to live up to the trust he has been given. Encouragement adds another layer of power by lifting him when doubts creep in. No matter how strong or determined he may seem, every man faces moments of uncertainty. He may wonder if his dreams are realistic, if his efforts are enough, or if he has what it takes to keep moving forward. Encouragement speaks directly to those insecurities. It reminds him that he is capable, that his work matters, and that he is not walking alone. A few words of genuine belief can change hesitation into bold action. Encouragement gives him the courage to stand taller, the energy to work harder, and the resilience to keep going when the weight of the world feels too heavy. It has the power to transform failure into another chance to rise because encouragement tells him that even if he falls, he is still worth believing in. Loyalty becomes the anchor that keeps him grounded and committed through every storm. Life is unpredictable. filled with setbacks and struggles. But when a man knows he is supported with loyalty, he feels unshakable. Loyalty tells him that someone will stand by him not just in moments of success, but also in times of weakness. It gives him the confidence to face challenges with greater boldness because he knows he is not abandoned. Loyalty assures him that he can keep fighting even when the road grows hard, and that assurance drives him to risk more, to protect more, and to give more. Loyalty makes him fearless in his devotion and willing to put everything on the line for the bond of trust he cherishes. Belief in his dreams takes everything further by unlocking the vision he carries inside. Every man holds dreams, sometimes bold and sometimes fragile, and those dreams can either grow or wither depending on the support they receive. When someone believes in his dreams, it fuels his determination to pursue them with relentless energy. It reminds him that his vision is not too far, that his goals are within reach, and that his potential is worth investing in. Belief in his dreams inspires him to go after opportunities he once thought impossible, to break barriers, and to face challenges with renewed passion. When his dreams are validated, he becomes unstoppable, willing to risk everything to turn them into reality. Respect shows him his value, encouragement pushes him beyond doubt, loyalty assures him he is never alone, and belief in his dreams empowers him to chase what once felt out of reach. Together, these four forces awaken the kind of strength and courage that make a man risk everything. Respect is one of the strongest motivators a man can ever experience because it affirms his identity. It is not about empty compliments, but about truly recognizing his worth and his role. When a man feels respected, he stands taller, thinks clearer, and acts with more determination. Respect tells him that his efforts matter, his decisions carry weight, and his sacrifices are seen. Without it, even a confident man can feel small, but with it, even the greatest challenges seem possible to overcome. Respect drives him to take risks because it awakens his sense of responsibility, reminding him that trust has been placed in him and he does not want to fail that trust. Encouragement adds strength to that foundation by reminding him that he is capable, even when doubts cloud his mind. No matter how confident he may appear, every man has moments when fear whispers that he is not enough. Encouragement is the voice that silences those doubts. A word of support can spark a fire inside him that pushes him to attempt what once seemed impossible. Encouragement turns hesitation into boldness and gives him the courage to keep moving when failure feels close. It is not just a push forward, it is a steady reminder that he is believed in, and that belief carries him through difficulties with renewed energy. Loyalty assures him that he is not alone in his struggles or his victories. Loyalty is not about being present only when things are smooth. It is about standing firm when the road gets rough. A man who knows he has loyalty beside him gains an unshakable confidence because he realizes no challenge will be faced without support. Loyalty makes him fearless in his devotion because he knows his commitment will be matched. It anchors him in moments of uncertainty and gives him the will to fight harder, protect stronger, and sacrifice more. With loyalty, he becomes willing to risk everything because he knows that what he is protecting is genuine and unbreakable. Belief in his dreams gives him wings to chase possibilities he might have once considered out of reach. Every man carries visions deep within him, sometimes fragile and sometimes bold, and those visions need fuel to come alive. When someone believes in his dreams, it awakens a deeper determination inside him. That belief tells him that his ambitions are not foolish and his goals are not too far away. It turns doubt into determination and fear into pursuit. A man who feels this kind of belief will take risks he once avoided, push through barriers, and work tirelessly to make his vision reality. Love is the final and most powerful force. Real love is not just about emotion, but about patience, sacrifice, and support. Love makes him want to become the best version of himself because it reminds him that he is cherished at his core. Love softens his heart yet strengthens his spirit. It gives him comfort in weakness and courage in struggle. When a man feels loved, he finds the reason to risk everything, not because he has to, but because his heart compels him to give back the same devotion he receives. Respect is the first key that moves a man to give more of himself than he thought possible. It tells him that his efforts are not in vain and that his presence holds weight. Respect is more than admiration. It is trust, it is acknowledgement, and it is affirmation. When a man feels respected, his confidence rises and his will to achieve strengthens. He becomes motivated to go further, to endure challenges, and to take risks that might otherwise seem overwhelming. Respect fuels his drive because it makes him feel that what he does has purpose. Encouragement builds on that foundation by giving him the courage to act when doubt tries to hold him back. Every man, no matter how strong, faces moments when he questions himself. In those moments, encouragement can be the light that cuts through the darkness. A word of belief can turn hesitation into determination. Encouragement does not just inspire him to take the first step, it gives him the stamina to keep walking when the road becomes difficult. It lifts his spirit in times of failure and strengthens his resolve to try again. Loyalty creates a bond that makes him fearless. Life's battles are not easy, and challenges can sometimes shake his confidence, but when loyalty surrounds him, he feels secure. Loyalty is not about convenience, it is about consistency. It assures him that no matter what storms come, he will not be abandoned. This assurance gives him the courage to risk more, to fight harder, and to remain steadfast. A man who experiences true loyalty is willing to sacrifice everything to protect it because he knows its value cannot be replaced. Belief in his dreams takes him to another level of courage. Every man holds visions inside his heart, some spoken, some unspoken. When someone believes in those dreams, it validates his purpose. It tells him that what he sees for himself is possible and worth pursuing. That belief strengthens him to chase opportunities he once thought were out of reach. It inspires him to rise from failure, to push through obstacles, and to transform his dreams into reality. With belief fueling him, he becomes unstoppable, even in the face of uncertainty. Love is the most powerful force because it touches not only the mind, but also the heart. Love is more than emotion. It is patience, sacrifice, and unwavering care. Love gives him peace in weakness and courage in struggle. When a man feels loved, he feels whole. It awakens a desire within him to give everything he has, to protect, to provide, and to sacrifice without hesitation. Love makes him braver, softer, and stronger all at once. Support is the final piece that ties all these forces together. Support is the steady presence that says, "You are not alone in this." It is shown not only in words but in actions by standing with him through highs and lows. Support gives him balance when the weight of life presses down. It assures him that even when he falters, someone will help him rise again. With support, he becomes willing to risk everything because he knows he has a foundation that will not crumble beneath him.